Welcome to the SandMPodcast with Sean Spencer and Misti Spencer. Real talk with real people, discussing some serious and not so serious hot topics. Let's talk. Hey everybody, it is SandMPodcast. I am Misti Spencer.
I am Sean Spencer.
Hello, Sean Spencer. And together we go by Sean and Misti, also known as S&M, hence S&M Podcast.
Yeah.
This is episode number 3. So exciting. If you haven't already, you can check out the video podcast on YouTube right now. And we also have the audio out on all streaming platforms.
Wherever you download your podcasts.
Yeah, so go listen to us, go watch us, make fun of us, whatever you want to do. We're fine with it. But today we are going to talk about abandonment. Yay, the crowd goes wild.
Yeah.
I know. It doesn't sound as exciting as it can be. But as somebody who loves human behavior, I love to deep dive into it.
Well, it definitely has a kind of negative connotation to it.
Yeah, certainly it does. And I understand that, but it's so important for us to talk about it openly and to get that out there so that it doesn't affect us in our relationships.
And that's the truth.
Yeah. So, everybody has felt abandonment or had that fear of rejection, felt rejected. But when it gets really serious and out of control, it can affect our lives and affect the relationships that we have, how we communicate. And everyone's familiar with physical abandonment when your parents get divorced or a parent goes away, whatever the case may be, death, and you have that physical abandonment. But there is emotional abandonment. And so some of us, when we are neglected as a child or are controlled by our parents, our expressions controlled, too much pressure to be perfect, lots of different things can bring up abandonment and that feeling. And then as we get older, it becomes more prevalent and we suffer with chronic stress and we live in fear.
And we react in fear.
Yeah, we do. We react in fear. And then, we become adults. And how we roam the earth is really important. How we treat others and how we present ourselves. And when you have those abandonment issues, you can be angry. You've met that guy. Somebody that's really timid or insecure needs constant reassurance, not confident, or somebody that's superficial. They appear to be really shallow and only have acquaintances. And those traits are very prominent. And you can sense the disconnection from that person. And then we have our attachment styles where we can be avoidant and private or withdrawn and anxious, where we are codependent and emotionally reactive. And we can be disorganized.
Clingy.
Yeah, clingy. And we can be disorganized where we go from clingy to withdrawn and cling, and you feel that tug of war action going on in your relationships with others. So this is how abandonment presents for people in their adult lives that severely affects it. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how your abandonment issues have affected you as an adult. So start us out.
Little light talking subject here. Yes. So abandonment has affected me my entire life for various reasons, and that's another show. But as an adult, starting out as a young adult, I still didn't understand all the effects that I felt through abandonment that could still impact my adulthood.
Yeah, we leave our inner child behind.
Yeah.
We don't bring them with us a lot of times when they're hurt.
No. We just want away from everything and be an adult. So we kind of stuff our inner child down a little bit and mosey on into the world of adulthood, not really understanding that the struggles that you typically have as an adult are really rooted from when you were a child.
Yeah.
And certainly the way you behave in a relationship, how you communicate in a relationship, down to how you dress in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because, abandonment can even include, children who were malnourished or didn't have proper clothing, things like that. And so the care that you're supposed to be getting as a child, if it wasn't there, that is a form of abandonment.
Yeah, it presents in all those different ways.
Yeah.
I know for me, I had some of that. I actually didn't accept that I had abandonment issues. But I'm going to bring you back to the how, because
All right.
you didn't answer me, Mr. Spencer. He went into some little jargon thing. I'm going to call him out on this, everyone.
It's
Because
true.
I want you to talk about how you behaved, how you affected others, how you roamed the world. What did they see
Right.
from Sean when you were younger, when you were an adult, when you were married? Tell us who you were.
So I am a good listener, but there are certain topics that I've kind of created a narrative for, and so I apologize for using that on
There
you.
are no sorries, but I'm going to tell you. So come on.
All right. Yeah. So let's talk about being a young adult, getting into relationships. Most of my relationships, got into hot and heavy fast. Most of them didn't last past 2 years. And a lot of that was because as an abandoned child, abandoned adult, I wasn't capable of giving all of myself to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And for fear of being abandoned again, once bitten, twice shy.
Mm-hmm.
So, the relationships wouldn't last for more than a couple years.
Some
They would-
self-sabotage.
Absolutely.
Looking for
self-sabotage.
things on purpose, reacting. Yeah.
And again, it all stems from not being able to give as much of myself to somebody who's giving me all of themselves.
And feeling like eventually they're just going to leave you anyway. I know that was a big thing for me.
Even if they say they're not.
Yeah, and it really isn't about them.
No,
I want
it
to
isn't.
I had relationships with really great people that treated me well, that did all the things right. I was very young, I didn't actually get married till I was 28, but I was very young in these very serious relationships, if you will. And I also had that where I'm just going to pull out. I'm afraid of this being good. I'm afraid of what this could be. And so I that resonated with me.
Well, fear of success is a characteristic of abandonment as well.
Yeah. It is, because you feel like the rug's just going to be pulled out from under you anyway.
So it might as well be done under my own terms.
I'm going to bring the whole kingdom down.
Exactly.
And I did that over and over and over again. And so now it's back to you. Tell us more about you, Sean.
Well, I'm 5'11", green eyes.
See, there it is. I
Yeah.
like that. No, besides just the relationship disconnection,
Sure.
how was your reactivity? Were you an avoider? Were you attacked? I know some of these answers. I'm not stupid.
History.
It's been 20 years, but tell them.
Yeah, so, wow. Obviously emotional delays here, but I reacted very explosively.
Mm-hmm.
I was not a retreater. I would explode and then retreat, but the very first thing was always explosion. I'm a debater. I think by genetics,
Nature.
yeah. And debate is great. I love debate. I love healthy debate.
And you're great at it.
Those of you who know me know I love a good, healthy debate. It can be strong. It can be contentious, but it's got to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not, I'm out. And so
but it doesn't belong
debated,
everywhere.
No, it does not. And so for me, going into an argument, if you will, again, it would be explode, then retreat.
Mm-hmm. And ironically,
really, it's not retreat; it's explode and abandon.
Yeah, explode and
because you're not going to abandon me first and hurt me. I'm going to abandon you first, and that was really a pure destructive mechanism in every relationship that I've had, and it's sad. For me, it's sad because most of my relationships on the other side were really good people.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah. There's no disparaging others. Literally, I know what my role was in all of that demise. But ironically, the way that you present, where it's I'm angry, and then I'm going to debate it, and then I'm going to go away. Mm-hmm. I come in on the other side. I come in where I want to avoid it. I want to run away, get me out of here, abandon ship immediately. But because you're hanging in there, I come running back, and I will participate a little bit in the debate, but I don't like debating. Mm-hmm. I believe I wasn't built for that kind of debate. I crumble under it, and that was your strong suit. But after that debate, I would inflame. And I've said the Phoenix before. Yeah. I could throw a television. I'm a thrower.
Is that really what happened when you broke the television?
No, not that time. That time I fell. I was setting up a TV. Sidebar, I was setting up a television for Super Bowl Sunday, having people over. And as I was mounting the TV onto the hooks, it started rocking, and I went with it.
This was a mobile TV stand.
Yeah, it was a TV, and I was trying to be whatever.
Helpful.
Yes, and it didn't work out well. So
at all.
Back to abandonment. That was terrible. I don't even. So I would explode at the same moment you wanted to leave it. Yeah. And because we were always operating on opposite ends, that was really tough for us. Yeah. And one thing over the last year when we were doing our most sincere work was we started slowing it down a little bit, mm-hmm. so that you didn't start in angry and I didn't run away right away. And we kind of met in the middle. Yeah. And that was tough, I know, for me, because I was afraid to trigger you by being honest. Right. I was afraid of triggering your abandonment and your rejection. How did it feel for you telling me the truth about our relationship and what we've done to each other, and being abandoned and potentially rejected by telling me the truth?
I think through years of therapy and the SGB shot that I talked about, and I think in episode 1, I think one of the greatest things, aside from taking away the pain associated with the traumas, I think the most incredible thing that I was given is patience. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not so reactive, I become a little bit more inquisitive. Now, I'm not perfect. I can be reactive. Still.
We all can.
But not 100% of the time, even when I'm maybe wrong. Yeah. Just trying to win a fight. But I think patience is really one of the things that I feel is one of the greatest gifts getting that shot did for me, because it allowed me to take that step back. It allowed me to pause before saying something that I might regret.
Yeah.
It allowed me to ask myself questions about the situation and how I would handle it, or ask them so that I could get at least to the root of the problem and just discuss that.
Yeah.
Because the reaction to anything is rooted in something.
Yeah, the why doesn't, and I say it all the time, and I'm going to keep saying it. It is a lot of stuff happens to humans. Everybody has their story. We are a part of a group, if you will, or we try to be a part of this group, which is the SFH guys, and that stands for Still Fucking Here. And it really is that everybody has their story, and we are still here, and we are still fighting, and we are still doing this, regardless of how hard it is.
Or what kind of trauma you may have experienced.
Yes.
Could have been cancer, could have been
anything.
A wounded warrior, could have been
military PTSD,
yes, PTSD,
a military wife.
Absolutely.
Who has been doing it on the home front, waiting for the husband to come home or the wife to come home or their partner. Literally, everybody has their story. So to focus on the why we feel the way we do isn't what we do. We focus on how it affects our life and what we're going to do to keep moving forward. Or how do we keep moving forward, and what are we doing right now that's either going to benefit or harm us?
Right, let's resolve the issue,
yes.
The core issue, and not put Band-Aids on the symptoms.
Yes, because the why will work. So if we're in an argument, and it's a valid argument, it's not just us being bitchy, because that happens. It's literally like, don't look at me that way. Now, we don't speak that way, but the tone of our voice, when we go, what? Huh? That kind of reaction automatically triggers the other person with, what did I do? What did I do wrong? And then the abandonment. Oh no, they're going to be upset because I'm upset because they're upset. Oh no. And then it's this rabbit hole of emotions that we go into. And as a unit, just slowing down a little bit and understanding when we're going in the rabbit hole and knowing that both of us have these issues.
Oh, yeah.
And so often I will catch myself going, what do you want? Or what? Or, that attitude. And I have to go, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have talked to you that way. Here's what I need to tell you. So we can correct.
Right.
You can correct along the way. And it took us a while to have that kind of humility. And I've seen it a lot in you lately, where you're just like, whoa. I didn't mean that. Let's talk about this.
Right.
You know,
let me say it the way I meant for it to come across even. Like I said, not perfect, but we can always work at being better, especially when you're partnered with somebody who has other triggers, other traumas, and yet still share that same pain that you yourself have. You have to understand that. Before 22 years ago, I didn't know her. And
right.
So I didn't know the traumas. I didn't know how she grew up. I didn't know how you were raised and how you were treated by, boyfriends early on and, so on and so forth. So getting married is not knowing everything about your partner.
No.
It's knowing that there's a connection, that there's a chemistry, and then you spend the rest of your life getting to know each other and working out your own shit.
Yeah.
And coming together as a well-oiled
machine.
Well, I was thinking something different.
I don't know. Hey, that's S&M After Dark.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
not dropping till June.
That's true.
Shh, don't tell anyone. No, sincerely, I believe that our message to others, to couples, to relationships, because this works in my friendships now.
Oh, yeah.
I have abandonment issues mostly with my friends. I said in the last podcast, I talked about my autism and being disconnected from others in this weird way. This episode made me deep dive into abandonment in a way that I never have. And I studied on it. And I was like, wow, I've done this to my friendship groups. I've done this to my friends where I pull back, I pull out, I make decisions that are detrimental to our relationship. It's not that they didn't want to be around me because I'm weird.
Right.
What I'm learning now, because I'm communicating better with you, with them, with my children, with my siblings, that leveling up my communication has actually allowed me to see that a lot of what I thought was true wasn't really the truth. That it really isn't that, oh, I'm autistic and I just don't connect with others. That's not the truth. I actually do connect with others. I have other abandonment issues. I have other things that are influencing this, which is why I get scared when I get too close to friends.
Sure.
And I love deeply so many people.
Yeah, and I reflect that situation. I had friends growing up. Looking back, a lot of my friends were broken.
Yeah.
You know, being broken isn't an uncommon thing. Most of us are in one way or others. And
I say damaged, not broken. We talked about this last
you're
night.
right.
We were in our recliners, and I had my treats.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't do
I
popcorn,
digress.
though. I did almond milk ice cream with some granola. It was delicious. I know.
Wow.
So that was my reward last night, and it was delicious. But we were on our recliners, and we got into our serious chat, and we were talking about that specifically.
Yeah, I think I even mentioned, gosh, I wish we were recording this right now because it's...
You're like, we should just record us. No, we're not doing that.
No, we're not going to do that. We won't take you into our living room and on our recliners. That's just a little too relaxed for me.
Well, many of you have been there, but whatever.
That's a good
Go.
point. So yeah, growing up, I had friends, but we were kind of misfits. We were all damaged, and
I said on the couch last night, we're damaged because we can be repaired.
Yes,
we're not broken. We're not discarded. We're not valuable anymore.
Right. Correct. And that's why you have the psychology degree. And
I have a degree in psychology.
That's what I just said.
I have to fix that. It's fine. Go.
It's probably my dyslexia. It's another show.
That's another show.
But and growing up into adulthood, you lose your friends. Some of your friends in high school, they move away for jobs or other schools and whatnot. You kind of go your separate ways, and you keep in touch as best as you can. But even as an adult, with local friends and whatnot, I just did not trust men, and it was for the fear of being abandoned. So I would hang out and just not really invest a lot, and I still do that. Old habits are hard to break, but it is something that I'm consciously aware of, and I think shoveling my insides out to the public right now is going to end up being very therapeutic, and it will allow me to open up even more, because it is a work in progress. It's something that you constantly have to work at and give a little bit more, get a little bit more out of your comfort zone, and stretch your legs. And
I'm going to give credit where credit's due, and I already mentioned them earlier, the SFH crew, and we had met them at a local venue and had watched some of these guys sing and entertain us and all that good stuff. I'm doing it. I'm throwing you under the bus, friend. So we go and see Joe Bachman and our other friend Zach Polk, and we met this beautiful community of people that made this company SFH, and that then introduced us to people at Way Down Here Travel.
Right.
And we met this amazing group of people that embraced us
as we were.
Exactly as we were. We are withdrawn. We don't sit at the big tables. We struggle with that.
Sure.
And it may or may not be noticeable, but that's how we operate. And all of them respected it. All of them loved it. But they weren't my group. They are now, but they weren't. They embraced you like wildfire. It was amazing how this group of men And I've never seen anything like it. They're from different walks of life, different outlooks, different histories.
Different parts of the country.
Yeah, like just this amazing group of men that surrounded you. And I want to give them credit because they brought you back a little bit. I felt like I lost you there for a little while. I really did.
Sure.
It's the truth. And I didn't know how I was ever going to get you back or the guy that I married.
Well, I was on my last leg at that time.
You were.
I really was.
Yeah. And it was horrible to watch, and I still had to keep going. I still had to keep soaring. I was still going to self-help myself, therapy, life coach, all of it. And these guys gave you the space you needed. They also gave you the love and attention that you needed when you needed it. They let you feel enough a part of their community, but still didn't make you feel like you had to maintain anything.
Right.
They weren't high maintenance people.
No.
And so I wanted to give them some credit.
Yeah. You know who you are, SFH guys.
Yeah.
And their significant others have actually really embraced me too. And, when you connect emotionally with somebody, it's either therapeutic or it's destructive, and their connection with me, my connection with them is very therapeutic for me. I'm not going to speak on their behalf. Y'all better say it's therapeutic for you too. No, but I love each and every one of them individually, as they are.
Yeah, they've been really great male bonds for you. They've shown you how to bond with men and trust them. Yeah. That they aren't going to... Now, that doesn't mean there aren't disagreements. That doesn't mean that people haven't been sloppy and said things they didn't mean or been emotional. I'm not saying it's without flaw. However, it was never the end. It wasn't, you aren't doing what I need you to do for me, and now it's over. No. You aren't providing me with what I need, and now we're not friends. All of them know how to stick it out together, and all of them have taught you how to stick it out. And because you've had those other bonds, I've watched you grow as a human. And I will say that their significant others never discarded me, even though I was distant and withdrawn. And when we went to the Way Down Here festival this last October, we're going to give props to Ryan Tren and, again, Joe Bachman and Zach Polk and the crew. When we went to Way Down Here in October, those women who I really wasn't that close to, but I loved them and they loved me, I really was able to form these beautiful little friendships all over Mexico that have carried. And now when I see them, it's this sense of family. But my older relationships, these other women that I've known for so many years, some of them 29, 30 years and beyond, I have learned because of that crew that I could trust these other women too in my life. Yeah. And so I want to give thanks to everybody. And thank you for helping us grow as people. As we close episode number 3, we are going to close it down there.
I love you guys.
Yes, we went into a lot today. We're going to keep talking. We're going to keep talking about the issues and our experiences. Please subscribe. Please share. Tell everybody. Help us pass the message. Help our friends. We are going to promote others in this because we believe in it. And we believe in paying it forward and paying credit where it's due. Sure. And so as we look for our interviews and all this fun stuff that's coming up, I'm going to tell you what we're doing next week. Yeah. So episode number 4, it is going to be how Misti, me, got hit by a truck. Nothing. I get nothing for that.
That's because that's I think personally. Yeah. Because I know the story. I think that's inadequately played. Oh. I would like to redo what she just said.
All right.
So
redo it.
Next week, we are going to be discussing disgusting.
No, we're not. We're going to be
We're going to be discussing how Misti got hit by a big truck while on a bicycle and drugged for 20 feet underneath the truck.
True story. I was 16 years old. So that's usually the entire story that anybody ever gets from me.
But we're going to talk about how it affected you.
Yeah, we are. And
not just in your childhood, but also your adulthood.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. There's a lot to it, but it's a lot of fun. I like talking about it privately. So we'll see how this goes publicly. You get to ask me any question you want, Mr. Spencer.
That's so exciting.
I know, because we don't really talk about it. And so we're ready. Misti got hit by a truck, episode 4. Woo woo. Yes. High five, Mr. Spencer. We're doing it, but we're doing it for you. We're doing it for us too. We're in this with you. So if there's anything you want to offer, feedback, whatever it is that you'd like to see on future podcasts, we're here for it.
Please message us.
Yes, this is growing, it's developing, and we want you to be a part of it. So with that, I say have an amazing weekend, have an amazing week, folks, and take care of each other.
Because if not, somebody else will.
Well, Jesus, don't listen to him. No.
That's a joke.
Take care of each other, even if you get nothing from it.
And be kind to yourself.
Yes. Be kind to yourself, because
it's a lot of work being an adult. And I'm not talking about raising kids and going to a job that's difficult. It's a lot of work just being you.
Yeah, it is. So be kind to yourself. Look for the celebration. Look for the reward.
Absolutely.
And with that, I say bye-bye. We'll see you. SandMPodcast. Check us out on YouTube, video podcast, and all the audio on all the streaming platforms. And we'll see you.
Take care.